Alright, so this here is the Styxosaurus rig, and that's basically how we are going to see it when opening the Styxo rig v3. It should come already with this panel here opened, but for any chance if it's not, we can always come here to the description tab, and in this rig properties.py here, we just need to run it, and then it's going to open here a tab, Styxosaurus rig. Alright, so beginning with the bone layers, we can enable and disable some parts of the rig. So for example here, root, head, body, tail, FK neck, IK neck. And this is basically if we are working with, let's say, IK, we can disable the FK, and so we don't have the other bones in the view, keeping us from selecting the one that we actually want. Another thing is, every time that we want to work with FK, IK, in this rig properties here we have the IK switch tab, so this IK FK. Every time it is on 0, it means it is IK. If it's on 1, it is FK. So in this case, we have the neck as IK because it's 0. Then I'm going to hide the FK neck, and let's see how it works. So selecting here the head bone, we can see that it is your simple IK solver, and that it follows the rotation of the head. That's basically it. But then we have another functionality here, which lets us change the parent of this head. So for example, in this case, when we are on the head like this and the IK head parent is 1, we can see here that the root bone here has this weight all the way to 1, which means that the root is the parent of the head. So the only thing that's actually going to change the position of the head is going to be the root. So if we move the body, let's say from here, it's not going to change. So the head stays in place. We can move it from here. Yeah, head stays on place. And that's basically it. If we change it to 2, then now the one that's going to be the parent is going to be the Spine 03 controller, which is this one. So if we move it, it's also going to move the head along with it. And we also still have the IK functionality here. And let's say if we want to move it, we want to move the root, we want to move the body, and we still want the head to be apart, to be on place, we can send it all the way to 0, and then I can move the root and it's going to be in the same position. And this is animatable, of course, so we can always change it. For the fins here, let's see, we have here all of them, they are 1, so it means that all of them at the moment they are using the FK. So since they are using the FK, we can toggle off the IK layers, and then we can work with it. One thing that works for all the bones here is the big bone is going to affect the chain, and the small bone is just going to affect locally. So for example, if I get this big one and I move it, it rotates all the other bones with it. And so it has like a copy rotation chain. But if I want to move, let's say, just this one and keep the rotation of the other ones just following the parenting relationship, we can move the smaller one, and then we go. We have a traditional FK chain. The same happens here in the body. So big ones they move the whole body. So they have this copy rotation chain. And the small ones, they move it locally. All right, so let's check another thing here, which is one thing that can be really helpful is to isolate the rotation of, let's say, leg and neck, and also the fins here. This isolate rotation, that's the thing, it isolates the rotation. So if we move the body, it's not going to copy that rotation of the body. It's going to still point to the same direction as it was before. So it's easier to see this than to explain. This one, at the moment, all of them, they are set to be 1, which means they are going to follow the body rotation. So if I move it like this, let me just change the neck to be FK as well, just so we can see it better. So if we move it like this, we can see that all the body is moving like a giant solid piece. But if I, for example, get, let's say, the leg isolate rotation to 0, then it's going to get the back fins and isolate the rotation of them. So if we move it, we can see that the fins, they move with the body, but they don't rotate with the body. That's basically what it does. And we have it for the arms as well, so we can change it from here. And also tail and neck. So changing it, we can see that it preserves the original rotation. It moves, but it preserves the rotation. That's basically what it does. Alright, so let me grab it all back to 1. Then for the head, if we get closer to the head, here we have the jaw controller. We have a limit rotation, so we don't get too far with the opening and closing of the mouth. And again, the tongue has the same controllers as the rest of the body in regards of big bones affect the chain and small bones affect locally. So here we are. So big bones affect the chain, and small ones, like this one here for example, affect it locally. Right? We can move these tweaks here to change the shape of the dewlap. It follows the opening and closing of the mouth. And the other things is to work with the eyes. We have these controllers here, which they are going to follow in this direction here. So the eye basically has a aim to constraint to follow this controller here. So the round controller is going to be the aim. So if we move it, the eye is going to follow it. And this controller that is inside of it controls the blink. So if we grab it down, we close the eye. Grab it up, open, close, open. And to make some other expressions here, we have the surprise and the squinting expressions. So we can scale this eye target. So if we scale it up, it's going to get this surprise shape key going all the way up. And if we scale it down, it's going to make that squinting. So it's actually going to make the eyes close a little bit more. And for the nostril, so we can close the nostril. We have this controller here, which is also by scaling it. We scale it down and then it closes the nostril. So that's basically it. Yeah, and another controller that we have here is for the belly, so we can jiggle, and so we can make this jiggling of the belly, and it also works when we make the body go down like this, so we have a more natural deformation of the belly. I'd say that's it. Again, big bones affect the chain, smaller bones locally. And that's it for this rig.